So I officially own my first Fender electric guitar. I purchased a 2020 Fender Player Series Stratocaster, and I thought I'd put together a video on my initial impressions of the guitar. First, let's get some specs out of the way. The Player Series Stratocaster is made in Mexico and has an alder body with a glossy polyester finish. It comes in a variety of colors like polar white, black, sunburst, and the color that I picked, buttercream. And I always want to say butterscotch for some reason. It has a modern C-shaped maple neck with a Powell-Ferro fingerboard, although maple boards are an option on some of the models, but not the humbucker single humbucker model that I picked. It has 22 medium jumbo frets on a 9.5-inch radius fingerboard. It has a 25.5-inch scale length, a synthetic bone nut, and it has a gloss urethane headstock finish with a satin urethane finish on the back of the neck for that nice buttery smooth feel. Buttercream, buttery, yeah, anyways. For hardware, we have a 2-point synchronized tremolo with bent steel saddles, standard die-cast tuners, 4-bolt F-stamped neck plate, and all the hardware is chrome, and it looks to be that way on all the models from the look of it. For the electronics, as I mentioned, I opted for the humbucker single humbucker model, although there is a humbucker single and a single model that is available for purchase. The one that I have has Player Series Alnico 2 humbuckers in the bridge and the neck position, and a Player Series Alnico 5 Strat pickup in the middle position. I imagine these are probably the pickups that are in the other configurations too. I ordered this through a third party, but it came sealed in a Fender package that obviously hadn't been opened, so I wasn't sure what to expect when I opened it up. Typical big Fender box, some wedges to keep the guitar from moving around, and the guitar is wrapped in that plasticky foamy wrap that makes sounds that makes people's skin crawl. In the box you get a guitar, some Fender stuff like a sticker, Fender Play advertisement, setup book for the guitar, but I don't speak Spanish, so other than the numbers it gives me for the string heights, I don't know what it says. Tremolo arm and the Allen keys you need for the saddle height screws and the truss rod adjustment. Out of the box, the guitar looks great, and I was pleasantly surprised that there was no fret sprout and the action was very playable. The strings aren't laying across the frets, but they aren't 3 miles above the frets either. It's comfortable. There is a tag with the guitar that has initials for assembly, setup, and QA, which is a nice touch, and it at least shows you that somebody has taken accountability for the instrument build and setup process. Now, the guitar comes with 9 through 42 strings, and I'm just going to say for the sake of transparency, I hate these strings. They're just not for me. For standard tuning, I like 10 through 46. It's what I'm used to. I play fairly heavy-handed on my left hand, and I like the extra resistance that a 10 through 46 set gives me. But that being said, I can live with the 9 through 42s. And that's pretty standard on Fender products. Anyways, I tuned the guitar up, I plucked around with it unplugged it just to kind of get a feel for it, and it feels really good. First guitar I played with bent steel saddles, and I'm not sure how much I like how they feel on my hand when I'm palm muting, which also, for the sake of transparency, I'm not your typical Strat player. I like humbuckers, I generally play heavy metal and hard rock, but I don't see any reason to change these types of saddles. I guess it's just something I gotta get used to. The tremolo is set up floating from the factory, or at least this one was. I can't speak for all of them. It feels pretty smooth, but without lubrication on the friction points though, you will have tuning issues if you get a little crazy with it, as it has the inherent problems of a non-locking tremolo system. However, with good tuners, lubricated friction points, I've had decent luck keeping these types of 2-point trems in tune. I mean, obviously you're not going to do a dive bomb, but they can be usable. As I said, there was no fret sprout, and the satin finish on the neck makes for a great plain and smooth feeling neck. If you like rolled fingerboard edges, you're not going to find those here. You'll have to do them yourself or have a tech do that for you. Now, I'm not saying that this is the typical experience and that everybody that gets one of these will have the playing right out of the box this great. Obviously, there are things like climate changes from area to area, and I'm sure there will be a few that'll slip through the cracks of Q&A. When I finally got to plug it in, I was surprised at how well it sounded. I get that a Strat will sound like a Strat, and that there are guys that use them for heavy metal. Jim Root immediately springs to mind, but these guitars aren't really immediately identified with metal. But the thing sounds great, and you can check that out right here. Now you may or may not notice a few things in that demo. I'm going to come right out and say it. The way I play, it feels really weird having that middle pickup, and I found myself hitting it more than once with my pick. But for the sake of an honest review of the instrument from my experience, I left in those little kind of flubs. I'm just not used to it. And when I play that type of music, I do have guitars that have that middle pickup, but I generally am not playing what you heard in that sound clip. This is where I feel Fender needs to offer some more diversity in their lineup, but that's a whole topic for another video, so let's just stick to this guitar at hand for this review. Despite my issues with the middle pickup, as that is a me thing and not so much a guitar thing, the 2020 Fender Player Series Strat plays great and sounds great. The fit and finish out of the box makes for a great playing instrument that just about anybody should be able to pick up and play. Yes, there is room for tweaking the action and whatnot, but it's a great guitar as is. My overall opinion of the series and the Fender as a whole is that they need to break from tradition more and offer some more variety in their lineups. But for the options they have and for the quality product that they are churning out, you can't go wrong with this. At $699 US, I feel that this offers just the right value for dollar. And when compared to, say, a Squier Strat from the Contemporary series, the extra money you pay is justified. The fit and finish is better and the parts are better. If you're looking for a nice middle of the road between a high-end Squier and Fender's higher-end offerings, you can't really go wrong with this guitar. It's got the look and the feel of a Fender, because it is a Fender. And if I had to put a negative on this guitar, there'd be small insignificant things that may not bother other people. I would prefer the larger headstock as I just find it more appealing, but that's a cosmetic thing, and it varies from person to person. I would have liked the option for a 12-inch radius fretboard, but there's nothing wrong with the 9.5-inch fretboard. While a solid guitar that I plan to do some modifications to, I will add that if you're just looking for a mod platform, you'd probably be better off looking into the used market or just going with the higher end Squier like the Contemporary series, the Standard series, or the Classic Vibes.